Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So a quick note about my tarot readings. They are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're sun, moon or rising sign of Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three of them so that it gives you a more complete picture of how this is going to speak to you and you know which one resonates more. With that said, if you are new to the channel, thank you for being here, and for those of you that are continued subbies, you know I love you for it. Don't forget to hit the like button, the share or the subscribe button if it resonates. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Hierophant card, right? So here we go. This is going to be actually a very big week for you. It could be where you are it could be this week that you're interacting with an institution or an establishment that is bigger than you are. So in some way, shape or form, this could see you being maybe bought into something that is bigger than you. Like especially for those of you that work for yourselves and stuff, it just suggests that you are aligning with something bigger. Now, also on another level, this could literally be speaking to your own brand of spirituality. You might be delving into this in some way this week. But it's not going to be like as a lofty concept. This is going to be, maybe even in terms of doing something to mark that. So for a lot of you, you could be doing something very real world, ritualistic, tangible, that is going to have kind of like a sealant effect. It's like one of those initiation process type things. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Page of Wands. So you could be feeling, well, I say you could be, this week you're very likely to be working on a creative idea. Now, if you have written a book, if you have a blog, this could be the week where you are publishing. Now, be aware, obviously we are under a Mercury retrograde. That doesn't mean you stop living. It just means that you have to maybe look at a few of the details and, give them a second go over. For some of you, if you have written a book or you've got an idea for a book or something of that nature, of a literary sort of nature or even a creative nature, this kind of suggests to me that this week you are going to be approaching those big sort of institutions or establishments that can assist you. So this isn't about self-publishing. This is about finding a way to speak to the big boy publishers, I guess. Now on a personal level as well, this suggests that there is a message coming in this week, and it's very likely to be what I would consider a tangible letter. It's not going to be like an email or something. This is you really seeking to do something, and you could be appealing to an establishment of some kind. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Swords. Mail. Definitely an actual letter that will come through the door this week will feature, and it may have information on it that is either quite big news or something that really kind of not challenges you, but certainly something that's going to require a lot of brain power from you. Some of you could be having interviews or meetings this week, and quite important ones at that, and it feels like there's something that you're waiting or wanting to present to the world, but it needs to be signed off. It needs to be looked at by somebody else. Now two pages, you see here you've got two pages when they come up together represents an energy of disquiet. So this week as well, don't be surprised if you find yourself at odds with somebody who may be in a position of power or some kind of position of authority. It looks like this week in some way you are questioning the status quo, or certainly the presentation that's being put in front of you. I kind of get this feeling that you guys are going to be a little bit rebellious this week, and usually you guys are the ones that are like upholding the law and stuff, but not this week. It kind of feels like you're at odds with something and you're looking to correct that. So if you work for somebody else, this could be a great opportunity coming up in the work sphere, but it is going to require you to find a way to speak your truth that doesn't necessarily upset the apple cart too much. It's one of those things I always often say to people, get your foot in the door before you start making those big waves, right? This would be my advice to you this week. For your those of you that work for yourselves, your own business, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, again, if you're aligning with a bigger body, so it's kind of like that thing, you know, like when a company gets kind of bought into, you know, and they buy 50%. If that company is corporate or they're bigger than you, they're going to start to impose a lot on you. And this week, it might be that something that's presented makes you kind of say, actually, no, you know what, I feel like that's too much of a compromise this week. So be aware of that. And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, again, it could be that those among you who are older and wiser are seeing, it wouldn't surprise me, are seeing some stuff that you really fundamentally disagree with. And I think this week you're going to get very proactive about doing something about it. So I'll be interested to see how that comes about. For your money and materials, you have the Ace of Wands, right? So this could be a very lucrative week for you. And it really does feel like this, it's almost like there's something that you've created or something that is yours and yours alone. And you know that it's like, you know, when you create something, we've all created something and we look at it and we think, yeah, you know what, I'm proud of that. I know it's going to do really well. And it does. This could be that week where you are literally nurturing or nourishing something that you want to give the best chance to, because you know it's going to be either very lucrative for you or very popular. Love this. The other thing is as well, it's going to be through your actions this week that your money starts to grow. So you've got to be proactive. It's not just going to be that it kind of falls into your lap. You are going to have to do something about it. If you're making any applications for finance this week, it looks like the outcome will be good, but do expect to have to do a bit of this. It's not just going to be a yes straight away. The end result will swing in your favor, but it does suggest to me that you're going to have to, it's almost like, you know, when you apply for something and they're like, oh, and now we need this. And then you do that, and then and now we need this. It's like, why don't you just ask me for all of that in the upfront, right? There could be a bit of a back and forth this week. For your physical health and vitality, this is a great card for that, because it gives you a lot of energy, a lot of inner fire. I mean, you've got a lot of inner fire this week anyway, so use that to your best advantage. And then for your home and environment, this is quite simply you being very busy at home creating. It's kind of like home is the studio this week. Whatever it is that your studio is, whatever it is that you personally create, your home is the space for that. Now, for your love and relations, you have the Four of Pentacles. All right, so when it comes to those of you that are partnered or in relationships already, this is nice because there is kind of like a steadying influence, but it does look like finance, money, you know, all of the material aspects of life are going to be the things that you're discussing this week, and in big sort of not big, in quite sort of, I want to say like in detail. Oh my gosh, that's the Mercury retrograde that is currently ruining my life. And it's in the sign of Aquarius, so I'm really feeling this one. And I find myself like I just can't find the words, or I'm finding too many words and they're all trying to escape out of my mouth. So be aware of that. It's offering a trine energy to you guys, so you're actually in good stead for this. For those of you that are come on brain, for those of you that are single, you're for those of you that are single, to be honest with you, it looks like you're too busy to really focus on anything like that this week. And hey, it's 1 week out of an entire year. You know, we're only just coming to the end of the first month of the year, so don't fret. All right. And then finally, your full moon message is the Ace of Swords, right? So this is a week where you are going to have to figure out which side you are on, whatever that means to you. There's definitely a new start here. When it comes to health and vitality, I will say this, it kind of feels like there's going to be an older person who will need your assistance this week. You know, I don't see anything being sort of too horribly wrong. And also for a lot of you, children may feature or need some kind of assistance. If you have children, this is likely to be a week where you're needing to step up on behalf of them, or you may be having a conversation about them. And then for your And the reason, I guess the reasoning behind that would be that something comes up this week. Remember, you know, there's almost a sense of you rebelling against the institution in some regard. So whatever that means to you, you know, whether that's the school, you know, the local authority, you know, whatever. So yeah, that full moon is going to see, it's a big decision point for you guys. It's going to see you really having to focus on what you are doing with something and how it kind of, how you're choosing to step forward with it. So that full moon in Leo is going to highlight this for you. There's a lot of fresh start, new energy here, because you've got pages and aces basically, which is all about fresh starts, new beginnings, seeds of ideas, etc. coming through. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for sure. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.